Hello. Let me turn the music down. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me out there? Can you hear me out there? What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Little Friday stream for you guys. I had to tap in real quick. I did. And if you saw the thumbnail, I'm trying something a little different. A little segment called Jazz Reacts, where I'm just kind of giving quick reactions on different things. So let me know if y'all feeling that. Let me know if y'all feeling it. You know what I mean? But thank y'all for pulling up. Listen. Well, before I get into it, let me shout out everybody that's in the building right now. What's going on, Young Riots? How you doing? Rod Neal, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here. One BG Dino, how you doing? Thank you for the rose. That's cute. What's your intro music? Listen, this is the intro music that's on StreamYard. I really don't know. It's called Lo-Fi on StreamYard. So I just use that right now. And hello. And hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. Got a house full. You know what I mean? Mommy pulled up, popped up. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. Make sure you like the video. But yeah, this music is right off of StreamYard, baby. I have yet to get my own AI, intro song or what have you. But I keep telling y'all I'm working on it. I promise I am. Have patience with me. But y'all, thank you for being here. We're gonna jump right into it. I don't know if you've been following this Nolan Wells case, but I have. All right. And what are we? 2 weeks out? Let me turn the music down just a little bit more. Make sure it's not overpowering me. What are we about? 2 weeks out. What's going on, Big Sean? How you doing? My life, thank you for being here. I thought you were going to be busy today, friend. Thank you for finding time. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, I'm just trying things. What's going on, H.A. Machiavelli? Yes. Thank you for pulling up. So yeah, we are 2 weeks out from the tragedy of Nolan Wells, who, as you all know, was found dead, allegedly on this island. And I'm saying allegedly because now there have been so many new updates that may point into different directions on where he actually died and how he actually died, which we knew from the very beginning that this shit was some bullshit from the start. Okay, the state of Mississippi, as soon as he came up missing, all his friends went silent, deactivating accounts. Judges coming out saying weird ass shit, making weird ass statements, inappropriate as hell as a judge out the gate, right? So the shit already looks suspect. Don't nobody know what happened, but all his friends had all his belongings, car keys, phone, and car, but don't nobody know what happened. So it's frustrating me because they're playing in our face, right? They already know that there is nefarious activity afoot when it comes to this case, and they want us to believe that, oh, we're just doing a thorough investigation. We don't really know. We don't want to jump to any conclusions. The sheriff of that city made statements saying that they're not claiming any foul play, but yet you don't even have full amount of evidence to make any determinations yet, but you're automatically ruling out before you even get an autopsy report. You're automatically ruling out the idea of foul play. That right there lets us know that there is foul play. You would jump to that conclusion before you have any evidence to prove this, but you don't want to jump to the conclusion to say that there could be some foul play because the certain timelines aren't adding up. People involved have gone silent. No, they can't be honest like that, but we already know what's going on, right? So since then, y'all, there's been so many different things that have come out this week. Wednesday, I'm watching Don Lemon, and he was already talking about the case. He was taking some calls from his audience, and they were talking about the case. People were giving their opinions and whatnot, etc. And during that live, there was breaking news that the Wells family, Ben Crump, and the sheriff, or the people that are representing them were doing a press conference. So I'm like, okay. So we're having a press conference. It's Wednesday. Maybe we're going to get more information out, right? Surely they're going to give us an update on this autopsy report. Surely we're going to have some type of update on, persons of interest, suspects. We're paying attention to the evidence. Surely we're getting some updates on that. But no, this is not what this press conference actually did, which I found to be quite strange. So we're going to kind of look over the press conference together. We're going to break it down because I also feel like this family is being manipulated. I don't know. Something is just not right. The energy is completely off. So we're going to start there. And then we're going to talk about all these other weird updates that have come out as well. We got some girls who claim that they saw the body being transported. They work in the coroners, for, bodies that are being transported that have just been deceased. They claim to have seen Nolan Wells' body. And what they had to say about that. But what's crazy about it is that they came out and spoke to social media about it. However, Ben Crump, their family, nobody else has quite confirmed what these ladies are saying. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it all. I'm not totally for sure what to believe at this point because everything is weird and we don't have any real information. We don't have any real information about what happened to this boy. Then the latest update is the GPS on the boat. How that damn boat didn't just go from the shore to the island and back. Oh, no. This boat made a couple trips back and forth. Calls were made. Right? How convenient, right? Calls were made. Oh, our boat is sinking. We need some help. But when asked, was everybody okay on the boat? This was Nolan's boat. We're gonna play it all. Everything is suspect. Lock them all up. I don't know why they playing with us like this, but it's irritating me. The truth will be revealed, but I think the truth might be stranger than what you think. And I think the real truth is not what anybody is going to expect. And then the latest thing that's also come out about this case, right, is Nolan Wells' mom. His mom and her demeanor is kind of under scrutiny right now. People are saying that they don't believe that she's actually grieving. She has a unique disposition in regards to the situation. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not here to criticize or judge any grieving mother. I'm not here to do that at all. However, I did pick up on a certain disposition, and we're going to talk about it. I'm not, like I said. Matter of fact, let me play my fair use banner real quick because I don't know anything. All right, I don't know these people. I don't know anything. Let me go ahead and play this. Let y'all know. Disclaimer. These are my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions. I don't know shit. Don't come to me about nothing. I'm just sharing my thoughts on the things that I see on my channel. Amen. Amen. So y'all make sure y'all like the video. What's going on? You said Don Lemonade. Here you go. I am Universe. What's up, Jazz, in the chat? Thank you for being here. Hello from Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. So y'all make sure you like the video. I'm about to pull up the first video. We're going to walk it back. We chilling today. We're going to walk it back, review all this shit. All right? Something strange is happening. And Auntie going to get to the bottom. I'll be right back. So sorry, y'all. Anyway, all right, so let's get started. Let's start the first video here. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and we're gonna just dissect. All right, we're gonna dissect this entire press conference from beginning to end, and I just want y'all to write in the chat what things that are sticking out to you the most. Right? What's going on, Dadinas? How you doing? I want you all, when we play this, I want y'all to just tell me what is naturally coming to you. What are you picking up on while we break down this press conference? What's sticking out to you? Okay. Let me turn down the music just a little bit more. Yeah, sorry if you hear babies and friends and mamas in the background. Got a house full. Okay. I got people in town. Oh, wait, that's the wrong button. Okay. Yeah, let me turn this down just a little bit more. So, yeah, just let me know. We're going to watch it together. Because I could be tripping. But some ain't right. Okay? Some is off. So, let's get into it. Shout out to y'all being in here today. Like the video. Hype the video when we're done, you guys. Please hype me up. Give me in that algorithm. So we're going to do a recap of this. Mind you, this was 2 days ago. This press conference happened on Wednesday. And I watched it in real time. And I actually did a video on it. I just didn't post it, y'all, because I just didn't. But let's watch it together, y'all. Make sure y'all like the video. And you let me know your thoughts. Exactly. I want to know your real time feelings, thoughts, and opinions about what we're about to watch. Let's get it started.
Good morning.
Oh, and shout out to WLOX News. They did a full recap on this.
I'm attorney Ben Crump, along with attorney Lisa Park, attorney Eric Harris, Justin Preston, and Cliff Jones. We have the honor of representing the family of Nolan Wells. We have present with us his mother and father, Christine and Elmore. We've just had an opportunity to meet with District Attorney Angel McElgrath and some members of her team.
Okay, gotta stop it right away because red flag number motherfucking 1. We are how many weeks out from this mysterious death? And we're just now speaking to the DA. We just now got the opportunity to sit down with the DA. Okay. Out the gate, red flag. Out the gate, there's bullshit at play. Because how is it that a tragedy like this happened? Nolan was the only boy that came up missing and dead on that island during a popular holiday weekend in that city and state of Mississippi. How is it that 2 weeks later, we're just now being able to talk about what's going on? We're trying to find answers about his death. We're trying to bring him justice. And we're just now speaking to the DA. We're just now speaking to the district attorney. So tell me without telling me that they never gave a fuck about this case. And then also something else that I found out. Did you all know that in the state of Mississippi, they don't do autopsy reports on bodies that have drowned? If you turned up drowned, if you died by a drowning, allegedly, they don't even do an autopsy report on it, which is very convenient when all of these Black bodies are turning up dead in bodies of water. But because they're turning up in these bodies of water, they can automatically claim it to be a drowning and not look no further into how this person actually died. That's some bullshit. That sounds like a clause the Klan put in place a long time ago to be able to find a loophole to do away with niggas legally. Okay, that's what that sounds like to me. But let's keep going. Already red flag. We're just now talking to the DA as of yesterday. I'm sorry, as of July 15th, 2026. This boy came up missing July 4th. They found him dead July 6th or July 5th or whatever day that weekend. Because we don't know if he, you know what I mean? We still don't know. We still looking for answers. But let's keep going.
We had a very respectful meeting. The thing I assume some of you may know, the thing to announce, she shared with the family that there will be a grand jury that she will turn this case over to once they have collected all the information and finished their investigation.
What's the information? What's the investigation? This is now automatically going to a grand jury. I don't know much about how things go with the courts and how things become, onto trial so much. So I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I know, but I feel like we skipped a step. How are we automatically going to a grand jury? What's the evidence? We don't even have an arrest. We don't even have a crime scene. We don't even have a person of interest. We've talked to everybody but them people that was on that damn boat. You got all these weird ass black friends, specifically, and we'll get to that, coming out, speaking on behalf of Nolan, that were not there, that were not with him on that boat. But yet we have yet to hear from the people that were actually with him, the last eyes to see Nolan Wells alive. But yet we heard nothing from them. But yet you're taking evidence to the grand jury? What's the evidence? I'm confused. What does that mean? How can they skip all of that and go straight to a grand jury when we don't even know officially how he died? We don't even know what happened. What is the jury going to assess and analyze? That part right there, that ain't sitting right with me. I don't get that. Y'all let me know in the chat how that happens, why that happens, what that usually means. Because something about that just doesn't seem normal, especially in cases, high profile cases like this. And what also is frustrating me is like we're doing all of these flips and dips and cartwheels trying to get to the truth of the matter. But if this was the other way around, and Nolan Wells was a white boy that was with 3 black boys that day, we already know there would have been no time wasted. But let's continue. I feel like they're just like playing in our faces and insulting our intelligence at this point.
We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts. Attorney Eric Hertz is helping lead the investigation team with former law enforcement experts who are going to help us with the cell phone download. So everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone.
And I hope that you find whatever it is you need to find, because y'all definitely waited 2 weeks, gave them motherfuckers 2 weeks to take whatever it is that were in their phones and wipe them clean. And we already know that one of their mamas is a judge. So I'm not above the idea that she knows how to make sure that those phones are wiped clean by the time you get to them. Like, she's going to take an extra step, because we already know you can retrieve anything. Nothing is ever truly deleted. They can go into that phone. They can go into your cell phone carrier and retrieve deleted messages, photos, etc., etc. There's a way to do that. You don't think that judge knows that? So while I guess this was the press conference was for them to tell us they're gonna finally get all of the people's phones that were involved. How much information are we able to? How much information are we going to able to retrieve out of those phones? With a judge that is already moving like she's guilty, that is heavily involved politically in the state of Mississippi, well connected, well respected, white woman. So I'm just like, this is news. We're finally going to get the phones. Okay, that's great. Let's see what's in them.
We also talked about trying to make sure we dot every I and cross every T. I know that we're getting about 50 calls a day to 100 calls a day from people who were there on Horn Island, people who are familiar with individuals.
But what about the people that was on the boat? Where the captain? Where's the captain? Why he ain't saying nothing? And then also, guys, these are minors. They were on this boat drinking. Apparently, they was drugging. There were adults on that boat. Adults definitely in that vicinity, and there was an adult driving that boat. You talking about you getting 50, 100 calls from people that was on the island. Where is the statement, the witness statements from the people that was actually on the boat with Nolan, who went out there on the boat with him? I don't give a damn about, I'm not saying that we shouldn't allow people to send information that they know, but it's like we're overlooking the information that we need to get from the people that was actually on that goddamn boat. The fact that they have not even kind of really announced the way that everybody that was involved, how they moved after the fact, deactivating all of your social media accounts before the world knew that Nolan was missing, let alone dead. Deactivated accounts? That didn't raise anybody's eyebrow. I don't know why I'm asking myself this, because I know it did. They just don't give a fuck. But they want to play in our face to make it seem like we're doing too much. We're having to do extra investigative work because of the lack of care that they're literally presenting to us every single day as it pertains to this case. And you know what else pissing me off? This is a sidebar. This is kind of a rant stream, y'all, because no, I'm not going no more. But my homeboy, he mentioned something, and we talked about this on one of the recent streams that I've done, highlighting, the unalivings of children, women, black men, et cetera, that's been happening the last 2 weeks. And you remember Cohen? You remember the baby that they killed in the Walmart parking lot? Crickets. We talked about it, but when he brought it up, I'm like, damn. You don't hear shit about that baby that was shot and killed by police in the state of Mississippi. And I didn't even realize that was also in Mississippi. There's a trend here. We're so overwhelmed by this case, we totally forgot that a police officer in Mississippi killed a baby. Knew it was a baby in a car. Shot in there anyway. Over Pampers. So it's just like, at this point, what the fuck are we doing? At this point, what are we doing? But let's continue. I'm gonna let it play.
That were there on Horn Island, and so we continue to be steadfast and trying to get to the truth of why Nolan Wells is dead. At this time, we'll have Attorney Hertz say a few words.
I also want to say this, y'all. I ain't got nothing against being Crump. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against Mr. Crump. You know what I mean? I know he do what he do. I know some people have some certain feelings about, how he moves, his motives, his intentions as it pertains to how he helps Black families in these situations. And I can understand why that would raise eyebrows. I mean, I can understand why the way that he moves will make people come to that conclusion. But I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt, y'all. I'm trying to really believe the intentions are good. We're going to get swift justice. And he knows, I know he knows exactly what he's doing, right? He is one of the best. But I'm going to need more than just a civil suit. You know what I mean? In the last stream, I said, I'm okay with getting a check, but I also need justice by way of the law. And if we're only getting the check, what that tells these people is that we can take their Black bodies, and when they complain about it, we can just pay them to shut up. So that doesn't stop. That doesn't stop them from doing these crimes against us. It doesn't stop them from wanting to unalive us unjustly. No, it's just another way to see that, oh yeah, we could kill these niggas and just get them a check. They'll be all right. No. So I'm hoping that he does both. But let's continue.
And then Christine and Elmore would just talk about the homegoing services and celebration for Nolan. and then we'll take a few of your questions. Attorney Eric Hertz.
Thank you. Right now, there's a lot of unanswered questions. We appreciate the district attorney meeting with us, but because of certain types of confidentiality that even the victims are not allowed to know, we did not get all the answers we want. We have
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. What the fuck do you mean? Because of confidentiality, the victim can't know all the details of what you know. What the fuck do you mean by that? Sir, I should know everything. I'm the victim. My son just turned up dead with his friends. They had his keys, his phone, his car. They're not saying nothing. I don't know nothing. And you telling me there are certain things that we still can't tell the victim? Yeah, that's enough for me. But let's just continue to what this, there was something that stood out, if I'm remembering correctly, what this attorney said. Let's talk about it.
Investigation going on that involves former law enforcement, federal agents that are going to be looking into all the different information we got. The calls are coming in and we're getting a lot of information. Some of the people that I spoke to are not talking with law enforcement here. We're going to be trying to get them to cooperate with each other because we want to make sure the narrative, which has been put out that is false, is going to be corrected.
The narrative that has been put out, which is false, we want to make sure it's corrected. What's the narrative? What's the narrative? We don't know anything. What we do know is that Nolan Wells went out on a boat with his homeboys and turned up dead and left on an island. That's what we do know. So what is the narrative that people are running with that y'all are working more to dispel and to refute than you are bringing us more answers to bring us closer to justice for Nolan Wells? What's the narrative? That them boys killed him? Unalived him? Well, sorry that some people may believe that when the boys that was with him did nothing but deactivate their social media accounts and go totally silent, didn't even post a damn rest in peace. We want to make sure we want to find Nolan justice for none of that. That's suspect. So out the gate, this press conference is giving y'all calm down and relax. The stuff that's being put out there is a lie. Y'all need to just listen to whatever we say. While offering no new information. Not giving us any details on who they're talking to, if they were able to actually. They haven't even gotten statements from everybody that was actually involved. How is this making sense to anybody? But who cares about a narrative? You need to be coming out with the truth instead of talking to social media about rumors and what you think, people are forming narratives. So what? Tell us the truth. Give us the right information and nobody will have to form their own opinions about it. But y'all tiptoeing around that truth. And that's with intention.
So at this point, we just ask everybody to keep calling in if you have any information and let us know. And I personally, if we validate you're a legitimate call, we'll call you and talk to you. And I thank you all for showing up today.
Okay.
And now, Christine and Elmore will just share with you some details of the homegoing celebration for their son.
Hello, everyone. So the homegoing celebration, the funeral will be held at Centerpoint Church in Ocean Springs. It is going to be, visitation will be 9 to 11, and then the funeral will start after that.
Visitation, correct me if I'm wrong. Visitation, isn't that when you come and you kind of view the body before the funeral starts? Maybe it's a memorial. I don't know. But you know what? Let me save it. It's just odd to me, y'all. It's odd to me.
Plan is for the repast because, again, we want to celebrate Nolan.
We want to celebrate
And
Nolan.
he would not want us to be sitting around crying and eating. And
We want to celebrate Nolan. He would not want us to be sitting around crying and eating. You know what irritates me sometimes? And look, like I said, I ain't got nothing to say about this grieving mother. She can say what you want. What I believe is that she's being directed to say certain things in the media specifically to take the heat off the state of Mississippi, to take the heat off of this case just in general. Because there's a lot of people involved that once the truth is revealed, they're all going to jail beyond those children that were on that boat. Mothers, fathers, people that's all connected within them courts. This is all corrupt. Let's call a spade a spade. This is corruption. There's foul play here. And I feel like that they are being led and directed to say certain things. And I'm not saying Ben Crump is doing that. I'm not saying that at all. But it don't sound right. And what I also don't like is when people love to speak for the dead. They wouldn't want us to do. You don't fucking know that. They said the same thing about Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was dead, body not even taken out of the room yet. And Clive Davis still allowed for that Grammy party to go on while she was freshly unalived. And had the nerve to say, Whitney loved the Grammy party. Whitney loved to party. She would have wanted us. No, the fuck she wouldn't have. Whitney Houston was a lady of class. If she was alive and somebody was known to have passed away, especially a star to Whitney Houston's magnitude, she would have left up out of that damn Grammy party. She would have spoke out about how if y'all kept that party going, how rude it would be when somebody is up there dead. She would have pushed back on that. I hate when people like to say what somebody would say once they're passed away. No, I don't believe that. You don't know that. And it's the same scenario that I'm noticing when these tragedies happen with these Black families. They're pushing to the media to try to like water down the rage that's actually needed. To say, well, we shouldn't be enraged because Nolan wouldn't want you to be enraged. Nolan will want you to party. Ma'am, with all due respect, we don't even have the autopsy report on your son's body. We don't even know what really happened to him. You have so many unanswered questions. I believe that during a mother's grief, there are going to be moments where you're trying to escape the reality and the magnitude of what's going on. But I don't like the fact that it feels like they are forcing this family to celebrate their son's death with still so many unanswered questions about their son's death. I don't think that's fair. Well, let's continue. I'm on a rant.
so what we're going to do is kind of have a party to celebrate him, and that'll be held at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. So
we're going to have a party. Okay.
So we really do want to keep it for family and friends. We are going to allow media to come in as well. And
another thing that I find odd, you want to keep it for family and friends, but you're allowing the media. Why are they forcing the media, not her, but why does it seem like they're forcing the media to be all up in their mix when they're still in a state of grief? I don't think allowing outsiders in to a memorial to this funeral for your son when you don't even have your son's body. So you're allowing outsiders and media and all these other people in to what? I just don't think that's going to do any justice. It's not going to bring any justice or do any justice for the outcome that we're looking to receive when it comes to this case. It's too like I said, this woman can do whatever it is she feels she needs to do. If it were me, nobody's coming to this fucking, you won't even know. Closed funeral. Nobody is here. But I tell you what, If them people that was on that damn boat, that family, that judge who claimed she went to school with this mom and she loved Nolan and da, if they don't show up to that damn funeral, if they don't show up to this boy's funeral, I mean, you just tell me, what does that tell us? You know what I mean? Like, they're about to have a funeral to memorialize Nolan. All the people talking about, oh, we love Nolan. No, you know, my sons would never. Oh, okay, make sure you show up at that funeral with flowers in hand. Peace lilies. We're going to see about it. We're going to see about it. Because I don't believe. I don't believe they coming. And maybe, you know, and maybe the mom, maybe she hasn't come out and said it, but maybe the mom doesn't feel comfortable with them being there. But she's not accusing anybody of anything. They're also saying this isn't about race. You know what I mean? Like they're going with that narrative that they want us to believe. Don't make this about race. This is just a tragedy. This was an accident. But is it though? You can call it, you can say that it's about race just by how y'all are handling the situation. Just directly by how law enforcement has handled this situation from the very beginning up until now. Because we already know the outcomes would be different if it was a different case, if it was a different race. Let's keep going.
Lastly, I just
teammates.
Oh, absolutely. Teammates. We've already contacted Coach Les George because we want to make sure that those guys are there. Former teammates from high school, middle school, teams that he played against. You guys are all welcome. But of course, you know, we want to make sure that our families for sure and close friends get there. So I do want to just say for those of you, again, if you are
inviting everybody, but want to make sure your close friends and your family get there. Close friends and family should be the only one there. Who is all of you? Who is all of you? Why does this grieving mother feel compelled to include everybody that ain't got shit to do with this shit? I find that to be strange.
Are having protests, even the day of his service, I am asking you guys to just keep it peaceful. Nolan would never want any type of violence or anything like that. He was not that kind of person. So if you guys would, again, just be peaceful and to the community, thank you so much.
And I love how she had to make that statement. If you're going to protest on the day of, I just ask that you just be peaceful. When have they not been peaceful? There hasn't been any news breaking about them protesting in Mississippi when this happened. They're just taking to the streets and doing what. When has it not been peaceful? Because we're going to frame protesting when it comes to situations like this. They're going to frame it when we're protesting as something violent, as we're looking to do something violent to other people, which never happens. But also, I wouldn't use that kind of language. Fuck all that. Fuck the be peaceful. He was a peaceful person. No. If you're out there protesting on the day of my son's funeral, please, I encourage you to protest. I encourage you to say my son's name loudly. Continue to tell his story. Help us to bring justice. Help us to bring answers and be safe while doing so. Be safe. Fuck all that. Keep it peaceful. Be safe. It's not the time to be docile. It's not the time to be quiet and meek and weak about this. No, take to the streets. We need y'all to protest. Thank you. Stay safe. Because all this peaceful talk, all this peaceful shit is excusing their behavior. I'm sorry. Right? I'm not saying go out there and commit acts of violence. I'm just saying don't dumb it down. Don't water it down for the sake of keeping the peace. Go with intentions to say his name and be loud about it and stay safe. But we're not about to keep our head down and we just out here just want to say we want justice for Nolan. No. This is what I'm saying. I feel she's being directed to say certain things in the media for certain reasons.
Just the outpouring of love, support. We've had some local
Thanks for being
officials.
here.
Mayor Casey Vaughn from Gaucher has reached out to us. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. He has, it's almost been every day. He's been texting to check on us. Also, Jeffrey Hullum, thank you so much. He's been texting pretty much every day, receiving a lot.
That's a crazy comment. That's a crazy comment. He has a history of doing this. I'm gonna have to look more into his history on certain cases.
Of stories from Nolan's teachers, which just warms my heart, his classmates, teammates. So again, for those of you who have donated to the GoFundMe, once again, I stress, if you are not financially able to, we're not begging for that money, okay? If you're not financially able to, we understand. We thank you for whatever you can give, but if you cannot, if you would just keep us in your prayers. And to his friends, stay strong and please just take care of your mental health, because I know this is a lot. It's a lot for us, and I know you guys are feeling some of that too. So thank you all.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes.
Attorney Crump, Skyler Henry here with CBS News. The last time that you spoke in a setting like this, I know you guys were hoping to get results back from an independent autopsy. I know you mentioned that Nolan had been sent to
Washington, D.C.
Is there anything to share on that front?
Not at this time, but we hope soon, very soon. Obviously, we're concentrating on the funeral services, but hopefully shortly thereafter, we will be able to tell some findings of the preliminary autopsy. Still waiting on some things. And also, while we're talking about funeral service.
What's taking so long? Now, I heard a theory out there that they got their autopsy, right? Like Ben Crump, this is just a theory. It's been so much information coming out. It's hard to keep up on what's this and what's that. But there's a theory out there that, Ben Crump is playing chess, not checkers. Apparently, he may already have his autopsy report, the separate one that they did, right, in D.C. And they're waiting on the state of Mississippi to turn over theirs first, because if they go first, they can, alter documents to try to match. They want to see if both of our autopsy reports line up, because if there's a contradiction there, then now we know this is now turned into a criminal investigation, which I think it's a criminal investigation off the rip. But there's a theory that this could be the case. I don't know.
I want to thank Mr. Tyler Perry for paying for the funeral.
Absolutely.
As well as Colin Kaepernick for helping to shoulder the expense of the independent autopsy. And I thank Reverend Al for agreeing to officiate the funeral services. Yes, sir.
Aaron Gilchrist with NBC News. Mr. and Mrs. Wansley, you said from the very beginning that for you, this was really about getting some answers about what happened to your son. Do you feel like after your meeting today, you have any more clarity on what happened?
Well, it was just a meeting where she talked about the process. She didn't tell us any information.
And this is what was irritating me about this conference, because I posted on my community wall. That press conference gave us nothing. You just said we sat down and we had a good conversation, but we don't know anything else. What was the need? What was the need? You telling us this for what? What is the new information? There is none. That's why let's keep
about the investigation too much, because those things are, as she said, her role and what she has to do. But they still have questions, and that's not insignificant to this meeting. It's just in general. Every morning they wake up and there's a hole in their heart, and they are trying to say, what happened to my son? Obviously, they feel strongly that he would not have just stayed behind. He wouldn't have left his cell phone. And so we're trying to get to those answers.
Terry Crump, Brian Rose, GC Wire. There's been a lot of misinformation that's been spread online, especially the pool picture that was shared by you, and you had said that.
Well, I didn't share it. I reposted it. We're reposting everything. Let's make it clear. We're reposting everything because we're trying to get people to come.
Now it seems like Attorney Ben Crump got very offended by this question. Now, I don't know why, but remember on the last stream we talked about that pool party picture, right? Turns out that picture was not the night of, or the day of, or the day after of Nolan's death, or the night of, or etc. And Ben Crump knew that this wasn't, this had no factual backing, but he reposted it anyway. Now, he's saying that he's saying that we're reposting everything, but in cases like this, we want to be as accurate as possible, right? We want to be as accurate as possible. So why would we post something that we're not totally sure of as representation for this family that's looking for the truth? So it's a legitimate question for this reporter to ask Ben Crump, why'd you repost that picture knowing that it wasn't accurate? And he got on the defense a little bit. But y'all let me know. Was he right to get on the defense? If you were representing a family of such a high profile case, would you repost inaccurate information in regards to the case you're trying to find facts and the truth for? Would that be in good practice? I don't know.
Come in and call. And so we've been shared. I reposted it.
And also, Ben Crump, baby, sharing and reposting is the same thing. You reposted it, you shared it. When you repost, you shared it. Just so you know. Just so you know, babe. But I just want to get into that response one more time.
Attorney Crump, Brian Rose, GC Wire. There's been a lot of misinformation that's been spread online.
I gotta get my
especially
phone on my
the
phone.
pool picture that was shared by you, and you had said that.
Well, I didn't share it. I reposted it. We're reposting everything. Let's make it clear. We're reposting everything because we're trying to get people to come in and call. And so we've said from the beginning, we're in a ferocious search for the truth. And so things out there, we are trying to post, ask people, do you know something about this? Let us know. Just because we repost does not mean that we authenticate anything. Look at our social media. We have.
Yeah, but Ben, it kind of does though. It kind of does though, especially in the position that you're in when you share something in connection to a case that you are representing. People are going to take that as face value. People are going to trust your word. They're going to trust what you're sharing. They're going to trust that you reposted this because there is some truth to this that is in connection with this boy's death. So no, I don't, I don't know about that one. I don't know if that was like the smartest thing to do. And if that actually helped your case, because why can't they come back and say you're reposting fake news and shit? They let her pull that one. If you got to be so fucking thorough. Make sure it is so airtight so there are no leaks in your story so they can come in and infiltrate with lies for people to believe. But if you're not being sure of the things that you're reposting and you're reposting them, that's kind of a little knock on your efficiency and your accuracy when it comes to this case. I would be kind of upset. I would be kind of upset if it was my case and you out here reposting. Don't post nothing that ain't accurate. We can't just post everything. People have come out and said any and everything. You said that you're getting 50, 100 calls a day with people that weren't even on that damn boat with different type of stories. Social media is the same thing. If you're going to use social media as a person in that position, you need to be as thorough and accurate as possible. Or you're going to confuse the people. And once you build confusion, now you're going to lose credibility. Now people are not going to want to believe what you say. So it's like, I don't know about that one, Ben. I don't know about that one, gang.
I've always been very careful to say this is a repost, and we almost always give a declaration that that's what it is, a repost. And so we want people to continue to call about everything, videos, whatever interactions they saw. And thank God, we are getting dozens of people calling every day saying, I was on Horn Island. This is what I saw. I know these individuals. This is what we know. They said, we understand the sheriff's investigation has hundreds of people calling too. And so the hope is that when this is presented to the grand jury, all relevant witnesses and evidence will be presented to them so that we can have a fair and impartial investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. We were very honest and candid with the district attorney, and she was honest and candid with us.
Really?
Our lived experience.
So what the fuck did she say?
That we must question everything, everybody's role, law enforcement role. That is the lived experience of us as Black people in America. And we would be not honoring the ancestors' sacrifices for us if we did not be honest every chance we got when we talk to power.
Yes, sir. You mentioned the false narrative out there. Well, I've seen quite a few of those, so I was wondering if you could tell us which false narrative you're talking about.
So yes, I'm so glad you asked this question.
Was there a particular false narrative you were
There's a lot of narratives out there right now, and
wait a minute, did y'all catch that? Wait, she was asking because remember I pointed that out earlier when he came up here and he said we're trying to put away the false narrative that's being put out there and in that shit, right? A reporter asked about it. Ben Crump said something immediately after she asked the question, almost to kind of let the attorney know what and what not to say or how to respond to the question. I don't know. Let me play that back just a little bit though.
Was there a particular false narrative? The false
Honoring the ancestors' sacrifices for us if we did not be honest every chance we got when we talk to power.
Yes, sir. You mentioned the false narrative out there. Well, I've seen quite a few of those, so I was wondering if you could tell us which false narrative you're talking about so we can let people know it's not true. Was there a particular false narrative?
He said some, y'all. I'm paying attention to everything. Because why you mumbling shit while she's asking a question to somebody else? That's a little suspect to me. He's like, he mumbled. On the end of it, it sounded like you ain't gonna answer anything. One more time and then we're gonna move on. That was weird.
Let people know it's not true. Was there a particular false narrative you were
there's a lot of narratives out there right now, and
There's a lot of narratives we're going to try to investigate all.
there's a lot of narratives out there right now. I'm not going to comment on any particular one, but whenever a case this big gets in the news, people try for whatever motivations, law enforcement or whoever, people that call in, try to set up a narrative so that people will follow the narrative. Our job is to cut through all the noise and find the truth. And the truth needs to be found by unbiased investigation, as well as unbiased lawyers and all the people that are out here, all you investigatory journalists and everyone else. We just ask that you keep an open mind until we get to the truth.
Well, then why say that? And you should. See, that's what I'm saying. They fucking around. You should directly answer that question. Which false narrative are you referring to that people need to do away with? The narrative that blah, 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 blah. Why can't you put a name on it? Why can't you call a thing a thing? What are you trying to protect by not calling out? If it's a false narrative, call it out. I don't like that. I don't like this.
And one of the things I will say, we are trying desperately to figure it out. And we don't profess to have all the answers, but boy, we're trying. And so when people call and tell us this is this person, and then we get somebody saying that, no, this isn't that person, we're trying to balance it all. So we want to even be more careful ourselves to make certain that we're trying to get people to come forward. And there are a lot of people who have different perspectives.
Yes, and you don't have to repost things that you're not sure about to get people to call in about this case. People are going to call in about this case regardless. Regardless. They want, it seems like a lot of people want to help find justice for this family. You don't have to repost shit that isn't accurate in regards to this case in order to get people to keep calling. I don't get that. I don't get that explanation, Mr. Crump.
We're getting that just from the phone calls that people who were there at the same time are saying different things. But we're going to get there. We're going to get to the truth.
So first, I
Yes.
just want to say my deepest condolences to you, Christine, and Elmore. My heart hurts. I bring you the guilt, WLOX Spirit Home. But I want to go on and ask you, Attorney Ben Crump, you say that you were talking about the process and they're with the DA. Were any affidavits or possible prosecutions or criminal actions presented to her to be signed eventually, or do we know it?
Yeah, and as she said, her role is confidential at this point, but so she can maintain her prosecutorial independence. Obviously, I stressed to her very strenuously to say, we want you to zealously, you and the sheriff's department, to zealously investigate this matter, and Christine and Elmore share their life experiences too. We know through our lived experiences, our life experiences, that's, and she said that's not how our office operates, but we know in America, in the South, certain people are investigated differently. And we shared that with her. We didn't, ask that she understand our perspective, but we said we should mutually try to understand each other's perspectives, where we're coming from. And we agreed that we will try to do that.
Where are we at?
So you guys, that's enough of this press conference. If you want to go watch the rest of it, go ahead and check it out. It's everywhere. But this one was on WLOX News. Make sure you like the video. Thank y'all for being here. Listen, I just wanted to go through that and break it down a little bit because, like I said, they gave us nothing. And you know what else that is bothering me? It's not enough fucking rage for me. It's not enough rage. Y'all not mad enough for me. Y'all not. All this, we're working together. We know her office says that they're not like that, but we know that there's a pattern of the South and da-da-da-da-da. No, y'all need to be on this lady's ass. Because apparently this DA is a little corrupt too. Okay? Apparently the lady that does autopsies in Mississippi is also corrupt. It's so much bullshit when it comes to this case. But that press conference gave us nothing. No real clarity. And when they asked, thank you so much for being here, Yoli. And when they asked, well, what did you sit down and talk to the DA about? Well, we're not able, to say much. She wasn't able to give us much. Not just yet. What's the holdup? And why is it this effort to constantly come out and say that it's not about race and y'all doing the best y'all can and everybody just needs to just wait it out and be quiet and calm down? But I want to play another video real quick. This time, this is a more of an update in regards to Nolan's friends, right? Because there's something wrong about these. There's something
to get leads.
There's something very weird about his friends as well. Okay. So now in the last stream that we did, we went over the first friend, Jalen, talking to TMZ, right? Talking about how, he basically trying to calm it down and saying that, oh, that wasn't him screaming, that was somebody else screaming. It's not about race. I'm uncomfortable answering that question if it's about race. We already called bullshit on that boy, right? Now there's another friend that has come out claiming to be Tristan's best friend, claiming to be Nolan's best friend. This guy, Tristan somebody. So we're going to watch a little recap of this. Shout out to Trent Out Loud. He puts together really great packages on updating us on this situation. So let's get into it. He believes Nolan Wells' friends paid off. Let's see.
Trump and Nolan Wells' parents are saying. If you notice, none of the white boys that were on the boat with Nolan have a word to say, but all of his black friends can't stop running their mouth. We know you took the bag, bro. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. All y'all rich folks in Mississippi could spend all the money you want trying to manipulate the media. All the money in the world is not going to save Warren's stepmama. I told y'all the judge is going to be going to jail. And I do not believe this bogus statement from this Mississippi sheriff that came out today saying, we do not rush investigations down here in Mississippi. We demanded 48 hours ago that somebody be arrested. And what did I tell Mississippi was going to?
Oh, also, you guys, did you guys know that you're supposed to turn over like a witness statement within 72 hours of a tragedy? They haven't even gotten that. We're 2 weeks out. The procedures and the protocol that usually happens for cases like this are just simply not happening. Simply not happening. And like I said before, it is very fucking strange that all these black boys and these black people coming out to speak. And then I also find it very fucking odd that these boys, especially that Jalen, why him and his mama look just like Nolan and his mama. That's some other weird psyop shit I don't even want to believe. But all of it is giving weird. But like Trent said, we ain't heard from none of the white boys that was actually on that damn boat. And the sheriff is coming out saying that we're not rushing an investigation. Sheriff is coming out and basically being very nonchalant about this entire thing, but not actually following proper procedure to bring forth justice. It's like, come on now.
That happened if somebody wasn't arrested by Monday, the protests were going to start. There has been a ton of developments in the past 24 hours with this Nolan Xavier Wells case. Sit back, relax. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. Then I'll hand it off to you, the Out Louder. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. As the investigation into Nolan Wells' tragic passing continues, a friend who was with him on Horn Island July the 4th when the tragedy occurred spoke to Good Morning America about the video of the heated altercation that has been circulating online. The friend, who I am not going to name, a 20-year-old, said, contrary to assume and Benjamin Crump and his parents, it was not Nolan yelling on the viral video, but it was him. The 20-year-old says he was having a disagreement with his girlfriend when another guy, an acquaintance not part of his or Nolan's group, criticized their argument. The 20-year-old said he told that guy to mind his business, things got heated, and he wanted to fight. According to the 20-year-old, it was not Nolan's voice on the now viral video. Why is it only Nolan's black friends that are talking to the media? The minute this case broke, every single white boy that was on that boat disconnected their Instagram, social media, and nobody has said a word. We don't even know what their voices sound like.
Exactly.
But all of Nolan's so-called black friends are talking up to the media. And now this is the latest development. I'm going to play you guys a small snippet of the viral video, just for those who haven't seen it or those who don't remember. Then I'm going to play a video of Benjamin Crump and Nolan's parents saying that it was Nolan on that video. Then I'm going to jog your memory to a TMZ interview with Javon, another one of...
I'm a fast forward.
Then we are to sabotage this case. Take a listen. All right, you heard there very faintly, give me back my friggin' phone.
I'm sorry. I don't hear that. I don't hear that. I hear an elevated voice, but I don't hear clear as day. Give me back my effing phone. I'm gonna go back. Because this is the altercation. This was another update that happened this week, right? More information regarding this altercation where they claim that it was Nolan that was in this video. The update on that was a friend came out and said, no, that wasn't Nolan. That was me. They're putting these black friends in the media, right, to speak on Nolan's behalf and try to make it seem like Nolan never really got into an altercation, so that if it turns up that his body was all messed up, it would go against the narrative. So they want to say, no. Don't say that Nolan got into a fight. Say it was you. And it would make you believe that, because where were you last week when this first happened? When you want to come out and you say, oh, it wasn't me, it wasn't him, it was me. Well, why didn't you say that then? But let's hear it one more time.
To sabotage this case. Take a listen. All right, you heard there very.
I heard something effing, and that's it. But that's just me. But let's continue.
Faintly, give me back my friggin' phone. Okay. That video came out, I think, last Monday. Now listen to Benjamin Crump, who is the lead attorney for the case, who's sitting right beside Nolan's parents, and you're going to hear him say, this was Nolan on the video. If the lead attorney and his parents are sitting down there saying this is him on the video, why are Nolan's two black friends talking to the media saying, oh, by the way, this is me? Why are you doing that? Listen to Benjamin Crump.
And then this video of this, you can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And so then his phone ends up missing.
Okay, now before I play the 20-year-old who I don't want to name, listen to Javon on TMZ. You know that TMZ from the Ashley Janae case, you know TMZ could be bought out. We all know that. This is not a secret.
Where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument. You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes. In that video, I feel like the voices are too clear, like from the side. It's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it.
Now, before I play the Good Morning America video, I want to make something very, very clear. I am not saying that, let's say this is true. I'm not saying that these boys, if they have information, they shouldn't tell the police. We're saying that. We want the truth. What I'm asking is, let's play devil's advocate and say, these two boys are really Javon's friends and they're really telling the truth.
My thing is, I don't care what they have to say. They were not on that damn boat with Nolan. And you can already tell that boy, Javon, you can already tell he ain't being completely honest because he had to come back and do another interview with his mama this time. Had to come back and do an interview with his mom when they were being asked about the phone and how his mom went to go pick up the phone. He had to go back and retract a couple statements because the first time he talked to TMZ, he was damn near on the other people's side. It's just all a mess, and they're talking too much, and it's not helping anything. I only want to hear from the people that was on that boat. That's it. That's all.
And they didn't take a bag. Why are you going on media outlets and saying this? Why are you trying to slow down the public pressure? Because that's what this is doing.
Yes.
If you have information, go to the police and tell them and shut up. This is how come we all know what you're doing. The only reason why you would go and say this to the media is because you want to stifle the momentum that Benjamin Crump and his parents are doing.
But I feel like that's what everybody is doing. Everybody is doing something to like stifle the progress of this whole thing. Going out in the media talking about let's celebrate and be peaceful is not applying pressure. And that's what I feel like that family is being coerced to say. But also the fact that all these other friends are allowed to even come out and speak on this, and none of the friends that were actually there have spoken on it, and that's also okay. That should be the biggest red flag. That should be an alarm going off. Fuck Javon, fuck Trayson. Shout out to them. But baby, y'all weren't there. Y'all weren't there. So it doesn't make sense how certain things are being allowed to happen and play out while others are not.
Know that you're not real friends. We can see the game here. We're not dumb.
I just know I've lost my best friend.
This morning, a friend of Nolan Wells, who was with the 18-year-old the day he was last seen alive, is sharing what he says happened during a July 4th boat trip to an isolated barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Trayston Shepard declined to speak with us on camera because he says he and his friends are getting threats.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
Shepard addressed this.
Nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short. Those are a very interesting choice of words. Those are very interesting choice of words, no? Nobody wanted to see. Y'all didn't see him die, though. Is it just me? You didn't see him die. He went missing. And this is the same friend that also said that this is the friend that also said that, you know, he saw him talking to that girl and it looked like he really liked that girl and all this other shit. Right? I'm gonna try to find, y'all like the video. I'm gonna try to find the full audio of this statement real quick. Cause again, some bullshit. And y'all calling in with no information that actually helps the situation. But let me play this video.
Viral video that investigators have been studying. Wells's parents worried it showed their son involved in a confrontation, but Shepard said that's him, not Wells.
That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling.
Trayston Shepard wants the focus on his friend.
I want everybody just to relax and let everybody mourn the loss of Nolan.
The thing that
What? What? You want us to relax? This is, you just claimed to be this boy's best friend. Huh? You just claimed to be this boy's best friend, or he was your best friend, or whatever the case may be. This is basically a murder investigation right now. They don't know what happened to him. We just know that there's something wrong going on, and you're coming out in the media telling everybody. This is what I'm saying. Every time they're coming to the media, it's telling everybody to calm down, telling us to relax when a boy has turned up dead and you don't know what happened, and all of his belongings were found with his friends, and now his so-called friends who were not on that boat. I don't care about you being in the vicinity. I don't care about you seeing him out there that day. I care about you being on the boat with him, that they claimed that they was trying to beg him to get back on. You talking about you saw him with the girl, and the girl, he acted like he really liked that girl, but he didn't really know her like that, just saying any fucking thing. And now you're telling us to relax? That's some bullshit. Who told you to say that? Everybody just relax and let us mourn the death. We can't mourn because everybody should be enraged that nobody knows what happened to this child. I don't like that. I don't like this. It's all given set up. I don't like how I feel about this. I don't, it feels like it's deeper than what's meeting the eye. That's what I will say. This ain't just black and white, foul play. No, it's getting deeper. Something about this is
that
getting
irks me the most is how he ends off and says, I just want everybody to relax.
Right.
What real friend wants anybody to relax when we don't know what's happened to their friend? If that was me, I would have been staying up the entire week on the internet, protesting, doing everything, riling everybody up, talking to the detectives, doing everything I can to make sure that we get judged.
And as a mama, I'm blacking out, I'm crashing, and I'm not a mom, but if I were one, because I already know how passionate I am about kids in general, my nephews, my nieces, my people, right? Let my dead son's belongings end up at y'all house and y'all not saying nothing to me. What? I'm sitting outside your motherfucking house every motherfucking day. I'll keep a legal distance. I ain't gonna be doing nothing crazy. So y'all can try to call somebody, but no. I need answers. I'm knocking on doors. Hey, friend. Hey, Judge Ashley. since you want to make statements talking about we cool and shit, and we all in high school, I'm let's have tea. I'm pulling up since we all cool and y'all love my son. That's what I'm saying. It's not enough rage for me. These friends aren't enraged enough. These so-called friends, right? That just makes no sense. And he's right. Who would do that?
Let's just relax. Let's just mourn my friend, bro. You guys are not even. You guys aren't even hiring good actors. Like we can see right. Want everybody to relax. We understand the talking points, but the talking points are clear that they wouldn't be actually coming from a real person. Like whoever you guys are hiring to do this, they're horrible at their job. No real friend would be like, can we just relax, please? I just like to have a moment when nothing is solved and the police are not doing anything. It's just total BS. Anyways, I'm done with these friends now. Let's go into a little bit of good news. Let's talk about the judge and the trouble that she is getting into. And for those of you who don't know,
so he's going to talk briefly about the judge again, because there's been another update on that judge as well, you guys. So apparently, like I said earlier, very highly inappropriate for a judge to be speaking about this case the way that she did anyway. But apparently, she's getting in trouble for that. So that's a slight little silver lining, maybe. But do they really get in trouble? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they really get in trouble? Or is this just damage control? Like, we got to make a statement out loud in public because what you did was kind of malpractice. You should be disbarred. You should be removed from your seat because as a judge, there are certain protocols and ways that you should operate, right? And you didn't do that. But you're going to be okay. But we need to come out and say, yeah, you did wrong. Bad. Yeah, I ain't buying none of this shit. I'm not buying none of it. They killed that boy and they hiding it. Period. That's what I believe. I don't know anything, but that's what I believe. What else am I to believe when you're moving like this? Shit is crazy.
Who the judge is, Warren's stepmama, one of the 3 white boys that were on that boat, his stepmama, yeah, she's a judge. And I said last week that she could probably go to jail for her statements. Now we have an update. A formal complaint has been filed against Judge Ashley Cole in connection to her public statement about the passing of Nolan Wells. The complaint alleges that Judge Cole violated provisions of the Mississippi Council, the Mississippi Code of Judicial Conduct, and a memorandum of understanding governing judicial ethics. Supporters of the complaint urge that because Judge Cole's stepson, Warren, had been publicly identified as being connected to the events surrounding Nolan Wells' passing, her public comments about the case raises concerns about impartiality and judicial ethics. Like I told y'all. The complaint asked Mississippi Judicial Oversight authorities to review whether her actions were appropriate and consistent with ethical obligations of a sitting judge. She's a sitting judge.
Sitting judge.
I'm not one to gloat and say I told you so, but when something is this easy, I gotta say, I told y'all so. See any evidence of foul play.
All right, we're going to jump to another statement that the judge came out. I mean, not the judge, but the sheriff of that state said. And then we'll play the next video. Make sure you guys like the video, share the video, hype the video when it's over with. Let's continue, please.
I also think it is important to be diligent in gathering all of the facts. I told you all from last week that I do not like this guy. A thorough and factual investigation, that's exactly what they're going to get. I think it's important that we do not put ourselves on a timetable, but I also think it is important to be diligent in gathering.
Look how lackadaisical this damn statement is. We're going to do a thorough investigation, but we're not going to put ourselves on a timetable. That means there's no sense of urgency. That means they don't really give a fuck to actually solve this case. That means they already know what the fuck happened, but they're just delaying shit and pushing shit off so that by the time the truth comes out, you don't know what the fuck to believe. That's all that is. That's all that is. But y'all, let's go ahead and play this next video. I want to get into the update on this so-called autopsy, right? Because there is some weird things going on in regards to what they claim happened to Nolan Wells' body. So there were 2 women online, right, who had claimed that they knew or had some insight in regards to his body, which I find to be very interesting. You know what I mean? Who are these women? Did they speak to the family? You know what I mean? I don't know what's true or what's not, right? But let's get into, wait, hold on one second. Because when I heard them speaking, I'm like, wait, what? What's going on now? So let's go ahead and play this video here by Adonis Live.
In the ways that we
and get into what they said. Shout out to him.
So we want to talk about Nolan Wells today. So today, we actually know someone that works transporting bodies, human remains, and things like that. So today I got a call from that person, and they were just talking about the body that they came across.
Ooh, that paper says Wells. I'm not sure if this.
What says Wells? Right here, this paper. See, this is what I'm saying. There's so many different narratives. And again, y'all, none of this has been confirmed by anybody. This is just another fucking theory. But seeing as though we revealed last week or the few days ago that they had to use his teeth to pull forensic to identify his body, the way that they say this body, the position that this body was in, it kind of aligns with that theory, with that, alleged use of the teeth. And I have to really find out who actually said that they had to pull his teeth to do the forensics findings on Nolan. But let's continue.
Here we go.
This was Nolan Wells. So before knowing all that, he said that the body was mistreated. Yeah. It looked abused. It looked like he was tortured. Looked as if he was burnt, maybe. Where? Face, body, said he was burnt. And not only that, his body was mistreated when they transported him. So as they were transporting him, he was actually face down. So everyone knows when you're transporting a body, when only a couple of people work that job, they all know you don't transport the body face down. That's kind of very disrespectful. So you always have them face up. Well, specifically his body whatever reason was face down. And me personally, I took that as disrespect. Yeah. My heart goes out to the family. Yes, definitely. Because all we know is what they put out on the internet. But today we actually found out a lot about his.
So, girl, did they talk to who did they tell this to? Besides TikTok. We know what happened. I hope you do, girl. But do the parents know? Because why hasn't Ben Crump? Why hasn't anybody? Maybe it goes because my thing is, if they're still waiting to put out the information from the autopsy report, maybe they don't want to address this because it could possibly, be a conflict of, interest. But this is really important information. Have you tried to get in contact? They said they're taking calls. Did these ladies call the authorities, call Ben Crump's team, send an email? You should be putting like the person, your homeboy that works in transport of dead bodies, you should be getting him in connection with Ben Crump to tell him what they saw. Because it sounds like y'all weren't actually there to see the body, but your friend told you that this is what the body looked like. But y'all claiming that you know what really happened, and we've been trying to find answers about what really happened. So this should be making headline news. No? Or at the very least, Ben Crump, somebody needs to come out and say, hey, we don't know what the fuck them ladies talking about. There is no authentic, there's nothing to confirm what these ladies are saying to be true. Let's not run nothing. But they didn't come out and denounce it either. They didn't denounce it. They didn't confirm that it was true. They're being really quiet, which is probably the best thing to do, especially when their autopsy report is still being worked on, et cetera, et cetera. But how are they allowed to speak on this so boldly? And like I said, are they telling this information to the people that actually need to hear it? Because going on TikTok, like I get it, it's a platform, but
autopsy without even reading the autopsy. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I'm so sorry that family have to go through this. Really, just want to give our condolences to the family. As a mom or moms, grandmothers, dads, family. Period. Just we give the most prayers to you, and we stand behind you because we know as a we know
Right.
what really happened.
Right. So
And at the end of the day, whatever lies,
We know what really happened. We know.
those families have covered up, or whatever lies they're trying to cover, we're sorry.
Yeah.
And we're here for you. And we just want you to know that what was seen today
was
wasn't
unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Mhm.
And that's why we want to inform what's going on during the transport. Like
this
that.
isn't something you can be quiet on
At all.
when you've seen something so heartbreaking as a child, go through something traumatic.
Yes.
It hurts to know that that was done to him in the ways that we can't even express.
Right.
And as a person, you should have some type of humanity.
Right.
And I felt like those people who was transporting him did not have humanity in no way, shape, or form. Because if I can feel the way I feel about the situation, just listening to what happened, you also can listen to what happened to this child.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that is a child that you did that to.
Right.
Who are y'all saying this to, bro? This is about to piss me off. This is what I'm saying. Like, we've gotten all these updates, and it's like they saying everything and nothing at the same time. Because while that is important information, and they should be loud about that, girl, hand that over to the DA. Hand that over to somebody that can make it make sense to bring us closer to answering all these unanswered questions that we have in regards to him. That's weird, but I don't think they're lying. I don't know if they're lying. I don't think they're lying, but I also don't know. I also don't know if they're telling the right platforms and outlets this information, because we've only heard about this on the internet. Nobody has spoken about this in the media or out loud. So that was that. Y'all talking about the dude. Y'all, I just be finding videos, and honestly, I don't be paying attention to people's demeanor until after the fact. And while I was just watching right now, I'm like, okay, I see you. And I don't discriminate over here, okay? Auntie love everybody, all right? What you do in your bedroom, what your lifestyle is, ain't got shit to do with me. As long as you ain't hurting yourself and nobody else, live your truth. But that wasn't intentional, y'all. His scarf was cute, okay? Shout out to him. But yeah, that was just a very odd, that was very, the execution of that information was very odd to me. And I'm really hoping that information falls into the right hands, because it could possibly help. But as of right now, we really don't know. All of it is speculatory. All of it is just hearsay right now. And the only thing we can do is go off of what we're being told. So I want to get into this other video of Nolan's mom kind of basically saying, we talked about the video there. We talked about the video of the boy Tristan saying that, he's the best friend of Nolan and da-da-da-da. Well, the mama came out and said, no, we don't know you. That's why I'm confused. That's why this doesn't feel right. Because how you somebody best friend and they mama don't even know you? These are kids. My mama knew all my friends, all of them, and their parents. My mama and my daddy, okay? They knew. But you're claiming to be the best friend of this deceased boy, and now his mom had this to say. This was also 3 days ago. Like, Wednesday was a day where a whole bunch of shit was just coming out, y'all. So bear with me. I'm trying to catch everything up. But let's get into what they had to say during this interview.
Described himself as Nolan's best friend. He gave an interview saying that he was the one who was yelling in one of the viral videos that people had been questioning, and said that it wasn't Nolan in the video, that it was him, and that Nolan met a girl that day that he really liked, even though he'd never, interacted with this girl before. Her name was Katie. Have you spoken to Tristan since Nolan's passing, and how are you responding to his account of what happened?
So first of all, we don't know Tristan. We've never met him. So to say, best friend, childhood friend, that's a bit of a stretch. We've never met him. He's never been to our home.
And my thing is, if that is true, then how the fuck is he able to get on big ass platforms? Like, I think he made a statement on Good Morning America. You know, he's on these big media platforms speaking of on behalf of this family. So what's going on with these people being able to come out and say certain things without it being confirmed? Oh, you say you're what's his name? Nolan Wells' best friend. Okay, give me the information. Let me run this by Ben Crump, the attorney's office and the Nolan Wells family to see if we can allow you to speak on behalf of Nolan Wells. Does that not happen? Is that not a thing? We're not confirming information before we're just platforming people and letting people just say anything. It's so many fucking red flags around this situation, and it's giving everybody in on it. Like at this point, I can't trust anything, because where did this boy come from? Who put him out there, and why was he so easily platformed to say these things?
Now, if you were to say that about Jalen or Javon, I would say absolutely. You could say that those are childhood friends, those are best friends, because they've been to our home. We know their family. We're close to, you know, their mother. But this young man, I maybe high school, you know, they started hanging out or, you know, kind of been around each other. But again, we don't know him. And not to discount anything he has said, which of course, still trying to rule those things out. But I mean, he has communicated. He did offer his.
This is a great comment. Thank y'all so much for being here. Like the video, please. He says, hi there, but this seems a bit odd. They saying they were told, then saying no, then saying they know what happened, then saying what they seen today. I thought they were told what happened, not seen what happened. Exactly. We're talking to everybody that actually knows or who actually seen Nolan on the boat. Exactly. It's like these people are being they're being placed for a bigger reason, for a different reason. It's like a big ass distraction. None of it is adding up. None of it is making sense. None of it is making sense.
Condolences, which we appreciate. And he did let me know about that tidbit, which of course, you know, like I've been telling everyone, if you have any information, forward that over to the local authorities. Make sure also forward that over to our legal team as well, just to make sure that we're looking at everything.
Let me say this to the young man. You know, not only does his parents, but some of his friends, they reject this notion about, he said, oh, he would just volunteer to stay. They're saying Nolan would never do that. So his friends are saying he doesn't really know Nolan if he's saying that Nolan volunteered to stay there. And we've had so many people now calling our call center saying where there was this argument and then 10 minutes later, there was another argument. But those people of call said, no, Nolan was in an argument. And so now we have to continue to investigate to try to.
And also, I also find very interesting, because how can you really know based off of that faint ass audio of that video, which just so because what I also find interesting, you already know, especially if we're amongst kids and teenagers, if there's a fight going around, somebody recording that fight. Somebody's recording that fight. So I find it very, very fucking interesting that we only have a faint video of audio of Nolan allegedly yelling in the background while the person that's filming is just panning the scene. Not the actual altercation, but the scene. Nobody around there is filming the altercation. Nobody around there. People, y'all, especially kids, y'all know that's what people do. Fight. They pulling out their phones immediately. So nobody has a different angle of this fight. Y'all got hearsay. Y'all got, oh, I can hear from over here. It sounded like my other friend. No, it was me. It was the other dude. And But where is the visual? And how can you honestly I'm not saying Ben Crump and his parents are lying. I'm never going to say that. But I could not. How can you determine that voice? It didn't sound distinct to anybody. How are they coming to this? It's like the information is just beyond
figure out everything that happened, but we absolutely do not accept that he volunteered to stay behind.
And we know he didn't, right?
Talk to us about what
we know he didn't volunteer, especially, and that's another thing. Like, I'm tired of people saying like, oh, you don't know boating, you know, when you boat hop or when you go around from different boats, Thank you so much, SmackDown. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And y'all, thank y'all for pulling up on me today. I forgot to give y'all a round of applause. I know you love an applause. One more time. One more time. Thank you for subscribing. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Thank you. Show me some love. Show me some love. Like the video. Send a super chat if you like, if you're feeling the show. But thank you so much for being here. Put some color in the chat if you can. But a like and a hype will do me just right. All right. And then my Cash App is down there, $ more jazz, if you want to support the channel in that way. But what the fuck? What was I saying? I think I lost my train of thought. But it's just so many different updates surrounding this situation. And every time that we're getting an update, it's not really landing. It's not bringing us closer to justice. It's not bringing us closer to anything. So the latest development is a call that supposedly happened with Nolan's friends when they called to see about the boat as it was sinking. And then it also, we have an update on the GPS of that boat and where it happened to go that day on the island. It confirms that it didn't just go from the shore to the island and back, but it made several different stops. So it kind of alludes to the fact that there's a lot more that happened that day in regards to that boat. And it also just doesn't line up with the timeline of events as far as Nolan is concerned. So let's get into this video. Wait a minute, where is? Excuse me. Okay, thank you. All right, so shout out to Chronicle Speaks. Let's get into the video.
The case of Nolan Wells has taken more twists and turns than anyone could have ever imagined. At times, it feels like there has been so much conflicting information that it has become increasingly difficult to separate fact from fiction. Whether intentional or not, the amount of misinformation surrounding this case has made it much harder for the public to follow what actually happened. Some of the biggest questions that have surrounded this case is who owned the boat, who drove this boat, and who was okay with these underage kids drinking.
Mind you, I was the first to say, who is the captain? That should be the first person being questioned right now. The very first person, the adult and the captain. And there was probably a co-captain on there too. It wasn't just these kids on their boat. Why haven't they spoken out? Why haven't they been questioned? Nobody is mentioning the captain. Nobody is mentioning who drove that damn boat.
Alcohol,
which I find to be suspect. I don't even think I heard Ben Crump ask about it.
These are the 5 men who are alleged to have been with Nolan on that island. These are their names, these are their faces, and we should know them and see who they are. So Eli, Eric, Warren, Wyatt, Morgan.
Now, for over a week, many people believe that the boat belonged to Warren, the stepson of the judge. That theory seemed plausible because the stepmother was one of the first ones to come forward and give information about the case, and she reportedly has a dock at her home. And as you recall, Warren's birth mother said Warren does not even have a boat. Later on, she says again, when Wyatt asked for him to get on, he said he wanted to stay, and Wyatt's boat started to fill with water. Now, I looked into Wyatt, and it does appear that he has a boat, and I still strongly believe that this is Wyatt's boat. However, the boat did not start at his home. It started at another one of these boys' homes. It broke down allegedly on Horn Island, returned back to one of these boys' homes before ultimately ending up at Wyatt's house. News outlets reported that the boat's owner, the boat's owner's mother, and one of the people who was on the boat that day had all been cooperative with the investigation. The news reported GPS coordinates of the boat that was driven that day, carrying the 3 boys and Nolan.
See the boat then go and actually dock at a different location, then drive overland to the home of the owners of the boat.
So they took out the street number of the address, but they left the street name here. And there would be no need to black out the address unless this is someone's home. The boat starts here.
We already know that one of them kids on the boat, and it ended up at one of their parents' houses. That dead giveaway.
Here at 9:56 a.m. So all I did was search for the voter records of the people that lived on El Camino Real Road. Went through the complete search, got to page 7, and saw the 2 names here listed, Patalo.
These are the 5 men who are alleged to have been with Nolan on that island.
So I looked up the mother. The mother's address, of course, came up as his address, the father-in-law, other relatives, and then all of a sudden, guess who comes up? Eli J. Patalo.
Then drive overland to the home of the owners of the boat.
Now, while Warren's mother was correct, it wasn't Warren's boat. It was indeed Wyatt's, and we'll find out how later. However, there were just too many things happening at Eli's house with this boat. The boat started on El Camino Real Road, broke down. An hour later, was back on El Camino Real Road. And let's not forget what Nolan's father, Elmore, said about going to Jack's house to pick up his son's keys.
The guy he's in one of the pictures when he came out of the room, half asleep or whatever, I think Jack's or whatever. And I said,
father, by the way, allegedly is his stepfather, not even Nolan's real dad. So shout out to him for doing what he does as a father. I'm just trying to picture the scene. Okay, my son is missing. We're trying to find him. And I come to my son's friend's house, where I see my son's car. So that means his keys are somewhere here. And when I come over, homeboy is coming out from the back all sleepy and tired, hair all wild. And that's it. Everybody would have been woken up. Wake that ass up. Okay? I'm coming in hot and I'm coming in loud. Okay, how did you get Nolan's keys? What's going on? When you saw Nolan last, what happened after that? It sounded like he just came in there and grabbed them keys and let that boy go right back to sleep. I don't like that shit. Okay? I don't like that shit.
Look, I'm Nolan's father. I'm here to get his keys so I can get his car. I said, he's like,
his car was in the yard.
His car's parked in the yard. So he was like, I don't know, man. I know it's like my brother. I said, well, if not.
Another thing that I caught. So it sounds like these boys were already admitting to something. Why is the first thing that he said to you was, I don't know, man, Nolan was like my brother? Because at the point of you going to get his keys, that was still all within like the same night. That was before they even realized that he was unalived, if I'm not mistaken. At that point, he was just missing. At that point, we didn't know where he was at. So while you go and you pick up his keys, the night that he goes missing, the first thing that they tell you is, I don't know, man, he was like my brother. Guilty. I would have been like, well, why would you say that? What don't you know? I didn't ask you. I just asked for his keys. The questions that need answers.
Nolan was like your brother. Would you please go in your room and see if you can find my son's keys so I can take his car home?
Eli Jacks is the one Nolan's father, Elmore, told him Nolan was like my brother when Nolan was still missing. So the boat started right here at the top where you see this arrow, and they departed.
Chronicle, that was good. She put an emphasis. Nolan was like my brother while he was still missing, which lets us, oh my God, these boys are guilty, which lets us know that they knew he was already dead when they called for him missing. He was like my brother. He's supposedly with Katie, I thought. That was a lot. That's what y'all went with. Which again, I asked, if he was supposedly with this girl, Katie, what would be the point of calling him or calling the Coast Guard and claiming that he was missing? Y'all know where he at, I thought. These boys are guilty. They did it. And it's just going to be a matter of time. But it's going to be a rough one. It's going to be a rough one, I fear, because no one's being forthcoming and honest about anything in regards to the situation at all. We don't know what the fuck. We don't know what the fuck.
At 9:56 a.m., going to Horn Island.
And it actually shows exactly where the boat left from when it arrived at Horn Island. You're seeing, as that scrolls down on your screen there, you're seeing that July 4th, that tracking movement, the vessel reaching Horn Island around 11:14 a.m.
Now, at 4:31 p.m., they said that the boat began to have problems. So they leave the western tip of Horn Island immediately.
A mom of one of the friends last week said the group left without Nolan when their boat began malfunctioning.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
NBC News has obtained audio as part of a records request that details the group calling for towing assistance.
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Now, as we've been reporting, Nolan Wells.
So, I'm confused. You call the boy, you call for help. You call for help. Help is on the phone. They ask you, is everybody okay? Is everybody on the boat safe? Is everybody there on the boat? And you say, yeah, everybody's here. Everybody's fine. So y'all are saying, they're saying that they told Nolan that the boat was sinking. And he just refused to get back on. He wanted to just leave his phone and his keys on a sinking boat with y'all so he can go run off with some girl, allegedly. But then you call the Coast Guard. You call the Coast Guard and you say that everybody is okay. But during this call was around the same call y'all said Nolan went missing. So why wouldn't you have gotten help and you were on the phone? And if you said, is everybody there? Why wouldn't you mention Nolan being gone? This shit is not adding up. I'm confusing myself.
Was not on that boat, although his keys and phone were.
Now, how she has been able to verify that is beyond me. At this point, it's just hearsay. We don't know where Nolan was. Now, according to the GPS, the vessel left the western tip of Horn Island at 4:31 p.m. and had to be towed approximately 2.75 miles before normal operation resumed. The vessel then went back to El Camino Real Road at 5:44 p.m. The hour prior, the boat was getting ready to sink. Let them tell it.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
Yet you're able to make a pit stop at Jack's house, allegedly, at 5:44. After 5:44, the boat then leaves again, and it travels.
And again, why they talking about we're going to take this to a grand jury? That boat is a crime scene. Now it's a crime scene because you made the call, said that you were sinking, but the timeline is saying that while you were sinking, you made a stop and then came back on the water. The boat never got fixed. You're supposed to take that boat right back, but y'all made several stops. What it's giving is that we need an alibi. We need an alibi. We need to tell people I want to hear that one more time. Hold on. Hold the fuck on.
You're able to make a pit stop at Jack's house back to El Camino of Horn Island. Now, according to the GPS, the vessel left the western tip of Horn Island at 4:31 p.m. and had to be towed approximately 2.75 miles before normal operation resumed. The vessel then went back to El Camino Real Road at 5:44 p.m. The hour prior, the boat was getting ready to sink. Let them tell it.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
Yet you're able to make a pit stop at Jack's house, allegedly, at 5:44. After 5:44, the boat then leaves again, and it travels to Fort Bayou around 5:52 before returning to the dock at 6:06.
So a bilge pump, a damaged bilge pumped boat is making all these rounds around the damn island after calling for help of its sinking. If y'all don't lock these motherfuckers up, and stop playing with these people, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it.
6 p.m. Later that evening, the boat went to the Fort Bayou boat launch at 7:19 p.m. According to the MSDMR report. From there, it traveled overland, presumably by a vehicle, to the Biloxi, Mississippi residence of the boat's owner, allegedly having to be trailered back to Wyatt's house at 7:47 p.m. The MSDMR report indicates that the boat's owner, the mother, and one other individual who was reportedly with Wells on the day of the incident have cooperated with the investigation. However, that pit stop at Jack's house while the boat is supposedly going under, and those 2 pit stops in Fort Bayou, the last one almost 3 hours after they had to book it out of Horn Island.
Now what I want to know is, how close was Nolan's body to these pit stops? Now that's what I want to know. Okay, so now we know y'all didn't just go from the boat to the island and back. Y'all made stops. And when y'all made those stops, that's when Nolan came up missing. So if they found his body on that island, washed up on the shore somewhere, how far were they from the spots that they stopped at before ultimately parking that boat? Which stop was near Nolan's body? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Just says a lot. It leaves a lot to the imagination.
That signify to you that there's criminal culpability here?
Jesse, not yet. Listen, this is every parent's worst nightmare. You have your child goes out with friends and everybody comes back except your child. So I understand the position they're taking where they want answers. They want to know why this tragic situation happened, and they're willing to do anything to get those answers. And I think rightfully so. Any parent will feel the same way. But let's not jump to conclusions here. We also can't look at what the family is saying and kind of take that as law, because they're going to hear investigators talk the way they kind of want to ingest the information. So the investigators are saying, they're saying, listen, we're doing an investigation. We plan on moving forward. However, the evidence shows, the family can come out of that thinking, well, there has to be something there. So clearly they're going to have something to present to the grand jury, but that's not really the case.
And to be clear, it does not necessarily have to be or would be a homicide charge. There could be other crimes associated with this investigation, even if somebody misled law enforcement, which I'm not saying happened, but you could present anything to a grand jury, right?
Absolutely. And we don't have to be talking about murder or homicide. This could be an accidental death where there was evidence tampering, right? Where they tampered with the evidence, maybe deleted.
If it was an accident, why the fuck would you need to tamper with evidence? If it was an accident, why would you need to what's the word? I don't know why I just got a brain fart. Why would you need to disconnect all of your social media accounts? Why would you need to go into hiding? Why would you need to go into silent? Why would that judge need to come out and make the statement that she did, defending herself, turning herself and her kids into a fucking victim, right? Because she's a fucking victim, right? First bitch to speak on this whole situation. One of their mamas. Somebody, I'm getting threats and we're safety. And we told them to deactivate their accounts for their safety. Bitch, Nolan is dead, ho. Black people could never move like this if this was the other way around. We could never come out. First of all, if it was a black judge that came out with that statement, that bitch would have been disbarred or whatever the case may be and thrown in jail. She would have got fined on some type of legal grounds. All them black kids will be still sitting in the cell getting questioned until further notice. Tampering of evidence and ain't nobody been arrested? If it's an accident, what they tampering with shit for? If it's an accident and it's like, oh my God, he drowned. Oh my God, we didn't know. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No, none of how they have moved since us learning about this boy's death is moving like this was a fucking accident. I don't like the fact that these media outlets come up and they try to remove any type of idea that this could be anything but an accident. No. We're not going to speak on homicide. We're not going to speak on a murder. No. We don't want to put that out there. Why not? Why not? And why do we have to jump to the, no, we can't put that out there just yet because, we don't have any evidence. Exactly. If you're still reviewing evidence, everything is on the table. This could be a homicide. This could be a murder. And this could be a cover up. This also could be an accident. But no, they're removing everything else. And want you to only believe that this could just only be an accident and want you to refuse to believe that it could be anything. But their actions show, baby, they did it. Why they think we slow? Why do you think we slow? That shit really irritates me. They think we're dumb. They're playing in our faces. And it's just like, ugh, like, enough already. Just call a spade a fucking spade.
Something from the cell phone that just seemed weird or odd or put somebody else in a bad light. So they did that so they wouldn't look bad, even though it had nothing to do with the death itself.
I got to say, I'm a little confused by the cell phone. I've seen reports that the family hadn't initially handed over to law enforcement, and now it's going to be this joint examination, both by the family's experts and law enforcement's experts and investigators. How does that work exactly? Have you ever heard of that before?
I have. I've actually done those forensic analysis of electronic devices where I've had my expert go in and capture these devices, actually get them from the investigators themselves. It's a little different than when you're talking about blood samples or something like that, when you're passing it around and you don't want to do that because it could be, contaminated. With electronic evidence, those things are going to be consistent. It's going to show when a text message was sent, what was included in that text message. There's going to be time blocks and things like that that are really difficult to change and almost impossible to change. So I've had situations where I've done investigations at the same time as the federal or state investigators to try and get that data off of phones, laptops, computers, other things like that. It's different than what you normally think of like passing around blood samples or bullet, fragments or something. Sure. Or fingerprints can be transferred or something like that.
Two things. One, there's also been a lot of talk about why he didn't have his phone, right? There's some conversation, well, if he went into the water, it'd be not uncommon for him to leave his phone behind. But then if he had gone off to talk with some girl, wouldn't he have his phone? Separate conversation. If it was in the if the phone was in the family's possession or in, Ben Crumb's possession for this period of time, does the evidence have to be excluded? Is it not contaminated in some way?
It doesn't. And that's just what we were just talking about. So I mean, some things are concrete, like that electronic data information of when it's or received, or if it was deleted. If, say, for example, the family got it and someone's saying, well, the evidence is bad.
It's the fact that y'all delayed confiscating them phones for 2 damn fucking weeks, bro. Them phones should have been taken the moment that they made the call and he came up missing and they found his phone and all of his belongings in their possession. I need all y'all phones now. It should have been a warrant made or something for y'all to go in and take everybody's phones for review. What? This shit about to piss me off.
Family could have added that. There's going to be an electronic footprint of when that text was sent. So if it wasn't sent before the death, then obviously it wouldn't be included in any investigation involving the death. That's a little different when you talk about how high stakes those electronic data is, and how actually it shows you how beneficial it is to have that, because that's concrete.
Look, the family needs answers. That's the bottom line. I know they're planning an independent
and everybody's talking. And we ain't got no answers. Everybody's talking. Everybody has a theory, but we have no real answers. None at all whatsoever.
Autopsy. I know we're still waiting for the official autopsy from the state. So let's see what happens next. Dante Mills, good to see you, my friend. Thank you.
Always. Thank you.
Now, as you know, Nolan Wells' family met with...
Now, shout out to Chronicle Speaks. Thank you so much for that, Miss Chronicle Speaks. And I appreciate y'all for being here. Let me go ahead and give you a round of applause. Yes. So what have we learned so far today, guys? They did a press conference to tell us that they're going to have a funeral, that they're going to let media in, all of his friends, and etc. Told us that they finally sat down with the DA, and the DA is finally communicating with them, and that the DA apologized for not being fully transparent, and that we had a fair and decent and positive conversation. Nothing in regards to how that baby died, nothing in regards to what the people that was on that boat had to say about anything, nothing. But again, instead of hearing from the people that was actually on that damn boat, we're hearing from everybody else. So we've heard from Jalen, the friend that he actually knows, or that the parents actually know. We've also heard from Tristan, who we don't know, mama don't even know, coming out and saying all of the things. But then they also put another black face in front of us, right? Which I think, again, to try to soften blows, to try to kind of purpose the narrative. Put all these black faces out here and let's see how it shifts the narrative. So let's watch one more video. Well, I got a couple more. Hold on. And again, talking to TMZ. Fair use, fair use, fair use. So now this is Nolan Wells' football coach, Tracy Lampley, says there was no racial tension at school. So now we have 3 people now. 3 black folks coming out speaking on behalf of Nolan in this tragedy, all saying the same thing. It wasn't racially motivated. It wasn't like that. I don't think people should jump to those conclusions. People need to just relax. This is a fucking play. This is a play.
So Trace, what his parents think happened here? Do they believe this was just an unfortunate accident, tragedy?
Gotta be getting paid to do this, by the way. Gotta be getting paid. Because y'all talking to TMZ about this boy's death when one had nothing to do with it, you weren't there, and you're not adding anything to it. You're not bringing justice any faster by going on to TMZ. And TMZ has to be like the worst media platform that you could go to try to plead your case, especially about something like this. I mean, shout out to TMZ, but come on now. Come on now.
Or that it's something
This case is too sensitive for you to be going to a gossip blog, a celebrity blog. That's why I'm like, all this shit it's feeling, you know what I mean? Like gritty, it's feeling grimy. Everybody's in on it. I just, something in my spirit ain't settling right. No.
More sinister.
I was in Ocean Springs when it happened, and I was still in disbelief when I got the news that Nolan was missing. So when I got all the details surrounding the case, that they told me he was out at Horn Island, and he came up missing or whatnot. I talked with his dad, and we just had a conversation that was kind of after the fact when they had found his body, because I was just giving the family their respect that they deserve.
And I'm gonna read this real quick. And thank you so much for engaging in the chat. Mad Cow Moo 1723. He says, I need the black friends last seen or talked to Nolan and when they left the island. Plus, same with Katie, because we know the white boys left at 4:30, so timelines need to be filled in. Also, Katie said that boy ain't leaving her. Katie said, Nolan didn't leave with me. We talked all of 5 minutes and he went back on the boat that he was supposed to leave on. So there's that. There's that. And 4:30 is around the time that they said Nolan went missing, right? Or the last time they seen him. 11 o'clock is when they decided to call and say Nolan's missing, after telling people, oh, he went with this girl. So yeah, like you said, the timelines don't match up and need to be filled in, but they're not. This is what they're doing to fill in timelines. Talking to people who don't fucking matter. No tea, no shade. This man doesn't matter.
And when they had found, I talked with his dad, and we just had a conversation that was kind of after the fact when they had found his body, because I was just giving the family their respect that they deserve. And when everything first took place, but I was sharing all the detail that the family was sharing, just putting the word out there, and just so everybody could be on notice and everybody be paying attention.
When you say you talked to the dad, did he kind of accept this as an accident and a tragedy, or was he more suspicious?
Well, no, he was more so just searching for answers right now, because it had just happened and there was a lot of questions still unanswered.
Usually high school football stars have a pretty close relationship with their coaches. What can you tell us about just Nolan as a human being?
Nolan was a great young man, with a big personality. Everybody gravitated to Nolan because of his smile. He just wanted everybody to be happy, and he was a joy to coach, a joy to be around. To sum Nolan up, long story short, Nolan is a guy that I would let date my daughter.
I mean, there were rumblings that he may have gotten into an argument, that there might have been a confrontation or something like that. I mean, was he a guy who...
But it's, you know what?
would stand up, where, his hackles would go up, or was he more of a get along type guy?
He more of a get along type guy. Don't get me wrong. Now, if something happened, he'll defend himself. But I knew right then in that video that wasn't Nolan.
One of the theories is that that he was.
So it's so crazy because everybody is claiming that the altercation that they heard is not Nolan. But yeah, Ben Crump and the whole family said, no, that was Nolan. What's what? What's what? How can we confirm? What the fuck is what? Everybody is going against what the family is saying. Why? Once they came out and said, no, that was Nolan, why are people still saying that it wasn't?
Was drinking and that there was a riptide that day.
And these adults going to jail because these are minors that were drinking and drugging and all type of shit. Everybody going to jail.
And that maybe he got caught in a bad current out there. Knowing him as an athlete, and we've heard that he did know how to swim, would that surprise you if he ended up in that situation?
It would surprise me, that happened, but like I said, man, I'm just waiting till the family, give out, details of what they done gathered.
Was there racial tension at this school?
No, I don't think it was no racial intention at the school, from my experience. Because you have, predominant white school, you have black kids there, and they all, played and grew up together and got along. Now, some stuff might have happened that I didn't see. So, I can't speak wholeheartedly on it, but from what I did see, it was a tight-knit community, you know what I mean?
Of course. Put the black men in front of the story and let them know it ain't no racial tensions in the school. It ain't no racial tensions with Nolan. This was not racially motivated. Look, keep reinforcing it. Keep reinforcing it. This is some bullshit. This is some fucking bullshit. Like this is like real bullshit playing out in real time in 4K. They're lying. They're hiding. They're covering shit up. But like I told y'all earlier, I think I hit all the marks that I wanted to share with y'all. Make sure y'all like the video, please. Let me give y'all another round of applause. Hanging out with me on this lovely Friday. So yeah, we talked about Nolan's friend, Trayson, coming out, saying that that's his best friend and that we need to calm the fuck down. Which what? I wish my best friend would turn up dead. I'm raising hell. Calm down. What are we saying? But I just want people to notice a pattern of bullshit, a pattern of manipulation, a pattern of gaslighting. All right. We have heard from everybody but the people involved. That's number one red flag. And then the people we are hearing from are people that had absolutely nothing to do with the situation. Even the two black boys that claim that they were there in the area, not on the same boat, just saw them that day, all saying like, no, that was me fighting. No, it ain't racial. Everybody needs to calm down. I don't want to answer questions about race. Even the parents, though. The parents are saying, we don't see color. We don't make him believe like there's racial tensions. They also are on that bandwagon, guys. They're not against the narrative that we don't want to believe that this is racially charged. And that is quite convenient. That is quite convenient. Everybody's perpetuating the same narrative to avoid the truth. We can't look bad like that. We can't blatantly say, yeah, that boy was maybe a sacrifice. You know what I mean? Maybe they plotted on that black boy, energy harvesting, organ harvesting. You just never know. You know what I mean? And it seems like Mississippi has a pattern. They're quite consistent with these mysterious murders, right? There was another boy that turned up dead in a creek. Homeboy pushed him in the creek, or he fell in the creek or drowned. We don't know. But what did that white boy do? All of a sudden, they don't know how to be friends no more, right? All of a sudden, when their black friend dies, they go into hiding. They hiding shit. They tampering with evidence. They deactivating accounts. But when he alive, oh, that was my best friend. There was another boy that I just found out about. I'm gonna do a whole nother video on that. That he went swimming with his white friend, ends up dead. The white friend threw away all of his clothes, his friend's clothes, got away with doing away with his cell phone, everything. Similar situation. And when the cops came, finally caught up with him. Oh, I panicked. I didn't know I knew I was gonna get in trouble. But if it was a motherfucking accident, like y'all want to claim, it will be nothing. You know you're innocent. They're playing. They're really playing with us. They're really playing. And I just think I just don't trust anything anymore when it comes to this. Until we get that autopsy report, both of them, both the private investigator autopsy and the autopsy from the state, I don't want to hear nothing else. But I want to kind of get into the mom, right? Real quick. And because as of late, her demeanor has been a little bit under scrutiny, right? We saw kind of her demeanor in the video at the press conference, right? We already saw that. She was very much so like her. And usually when we see her, like, yes, we've seen her get emotional. And like we said, grief, it comes in waves, it'll come and go. But there's an energy, there's a disposition that a lot of people are picking up on, right? And again, y'all, I was a little like, that's interesting, you know? But she recently posted a video. Talking to social media, right? Talking to social media, addressing social media, kind of like almost pacifying social media, you know, making sure that, you know, the fans are doing okay, which I found to be kind of strange. You know what I mean? But I want to play this video really quickly. And I just want to get y'all thoughts on what you hear and what you see in this video. And we're going to actually play, let me see. Hold on one second. We're going to play a video. Here this instead. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to play this video real quick. It says, this is by Gertie Mack. Nolan Wells' mom break down in tears in newly released video. But this is also, I believe, the governor of Mississippi. Listen to how he addressed the situation as well. Everybody is very relaxed. Everybody is very relaxed in regards to this. No sense of urgency. No, we're doing everything we can. We're finding, you know, more evidence every day, et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you continue to say no. Say no. It's just very chill. So let's just get into this video real quick.
The death of Nolan Wells, the football player found on Horn Island after July 4th, and all the racial overtones that come with that. Have you been in touch with investigators in Jackson County and asking for full transparency in that investigation so that the public will know exactly what happened to this young man?
The Sean Tyndall, the commissioner of the Department of Public Safety, has been in contact with those individuals. Obviously, the autopsy was done by the state medical examiner's office at the Department of Public Safety. I personally know Sheriff John Ledbetter from Jackson County very well. I have not personally spoken to him. I have full confidence that he is going to do his job. And what I will simply say is I don't know all of the details. I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case.
Don't know shit. Once again, thank you for the super chat. Hi, could you read my other messages? Absolutely. What did you say? Let me go back up. Who was the friend fighting with? Apparently, the friend was on that boat fighting over a girl with somebody else that was out there that day. They was fighting each other over a girl. They claimed that was Nolan saying, "Give me back my phone," but now they're saying that wasn't Nolan and it was the other boy, Trayson, that was fighting. It's a lot of confusion. But didn't the friend confirm that it was him in the video? Exactly. That's why there's confusion. That's why there is confusion. Because they're saying one thing, the friends are saying another. But who's telling the truth? Who's telling the truth? But here we have another law official I'm so sorry. No. I am not big time. Y'all know I don't like to get too distracted. So I'm sorry if I missed a couple of your chats, but I really appreciate you. And thank you for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Let me see. You got more up top. Let me see what you had said. Let me see. Real quick. I don't want to assume or make assumptions on what happened because that's unfair because I wasn't there, but there are a few statements from the friends and Katie that isn't adding up to me. I need to know when the black friends last seen or talked to Nolan. Okay, I read that one. It doesn't make sense to me if you're going to unalive someone. Why on earth would you hold on to the phone? Exactly. It's all botched. I mean, they could probably have thought we're going to keep his phone to run with the narrative that he left his phone after choosing to stay behind. Remember, that was the original story. He left his phone after we told him to get on the boat and he wanted to stay with the girl. So we left him. He wanted to leave. He refused to come back with us. And he wanted us to keep it. That's why. Because you would think they would do away with it. But when it comes to them going to know that you were the last people with him, you got to come up with a scenario, it seems like. Or it was a situation that just went terribly freaking wrong. And they didn't intend on having his keys and his belongings. So they had to make something up. You know what I mean? They out there, they going at it with each other. Fight gone wrong. Dead body. Got to stuff. We gotta make up a story now. So again, all this shit is still hearsay because we don't know any of the damn facts. Well, let me continue.
I've yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But
you have yet to see a fact or any evidence that suggests any foul play, but you also haven't seen a fact or any evidence that wouldn't suggest foul play. So why is everybody automatically going to the notion without even hearing back from the autopsy report, without any line of questioning? You're concluding that there's no foul play, but you ain't seen no evidence. So how can you jump to that conclusion? How can you just let everybody know, no, there ain't no foul play? But you just said you haven't seen a lick of evidence. So you have no evidence to confirm or deny that there was foul play. But yet you're confirming that there wasn't? Yeah, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
But if there is, I feel confident that the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office.
It should be, everything is on the table. Like I said earlier, everything is up for question right now. There could be foul play. We haven't seen anything to rule it out. My God.
The members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one, they will find it and they will do what is necessary.
I hate that.
Okay, let's get straight to the point. This Nolan Wells case has been a lot, definitely for the family. Now, in the beginning of the video, that was the governor of Mississippi.
All right, let me fast
during a
forward
press conference that he were sort of was kind of like a content.
So he's getting into the idea now. I didn't know. I'm finding more about the mom. She was already a content creator, already, had a platform, already had a brand. So I guess some people would say it isn't abnormal for her to come out and address her audience and say the things that she said recently, right? Well, let's continue.
Creator way before this happened. So she was very active on social media even before Nolan Wells went missing, was later found dead. She has since went on social media, not making a post, but she made a video, just talking about her son and what it feels like going through this difficult time.
Hey, Boo Bears. I know you probably did not expect to see me, but I had to come on because I wanted to acknowledge all of your love, your support, your kindness that you guys have been showing me. I wanted to, answer each and every one of you, and I probably will.
Why? They don't have the answers, babe. I struggle with doing this because I am not trying to bash this. I'm not bashing this lady at all. I don't know this lady and I don't know what she could be going through right now, but it's very odd that we're prioritizing answering questions to people who don't fucking matter, to people who cannot bring you closer to bringing justice for your son. Strangers on the internet, why does it matter? Why do you feel compelled? I just find it to be interesting. I'm not saying that is normal. I just don't know.
At some point, I will at some point, but right now it's just, everything is so heavy. Everything is so heavy. Just been going through the motions, I'm a healthcare provider, so I talk about grief a lot. And now to be on the other side of this is, it's a lot. So I lost my mom a few years ago, and that was hard. This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different. It's insurmountable. And then it's like you get these flood of emotions all at different times, and grief is so multi-layered. 1 second I might be okay and I can talk about things and I can listen to his stories, and then the next minute I am falling apart and I feel like I can't breathe, and I feel like there is an elephant just sitting on my chest. But I know this is the process. I have a wonderful support system. I have my faith in God, which I've been leaning heavy.
What y'all think so far? What's going on, Magnetar? How you doing, Magnetar? Thank you for being here. Thank you for pulling up. Thank you for pulling up. But what do y'all think? What's it giving?
But I just wanted,
not that we should be critiquing her or tearing her down, because I am not. I feel like I can't speak freely, but let's
let you guys know that I see you. I love you. I'm thankful for all of you. And I'm so sorry that I hadn't been able to reply. I don't know exactly when again I'll post. For some reason, it does help. And I know if Nolan was here, he'd be like, Mom, just keep talking to the people, keep telling my story, keep telling your story. So that is going to be my plan.
Not keep telling your story, keep telling my story. Not, Mom, continue to be loud about bringing me justice. Tell my story when I was alive. Tell your story. What is the story? What's the story? What's the story? We don't know. Keep telling my story. I'm going to come up. And why does it matter? Baby, you got to find answers to what happened to your baby. And hey, she's saying posting about, his life is helping her. I just find it a little bit odd. That's all. I just find it a little bit odd. I find there's just something off about this whole thing, y'all. There's just something off about this entire thing. Prioritizing social media posts and addressing people. How does it help? How does it help? That's what's confusing me just a little bit. Like, okay, hey, Boo Bears. I mean, content. Hey, Boo Bears. Damn, I would have to clock out. I would have had to clock out if we're still trying to figure out how my child died. If the people that was with him have not come and spoken to me, sent condolences, given me any information, which they have not. But she is refreshed and ready to come on social media and address the Boo Bears. And that is, like she said, maybe it's helping her. But it's not. I don't know. Something about it is landing weird in my spirit. I'm landing a little weird.
Again, thank you all so much. I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
I'm sure.
Thank you guys so much. we cannot criticize how people grieve. But this was just a little odd to me. Just to me. Two bears, and I love y'all so much. Who gives a fuck about us? Who cares? We ain't got the answer, Sway. I just don't know. Maybe she's in a daze. Maybe she's like in a whole like fog of grief and just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like just kind of like, you know, a little dizzy, not ditzy, but like kind of just going through like on autopilot. You know what I mean? But the word choice, keep telling my story. You know, if I'm going to use social media, I'm using this platform to bring more justice to my son. If anybody has any accurate details, in regards to the situation, please let me know. That is the only thing that I'm focused on right now. That's the only thing so I don't know. But let's finish.
It was very hard to do that, even with her being a content creator and used to being in front of a camera. This is different. But she found the strength to do it, to just kind of just put something out there. And as she said, you know, it kind of works for her. So everybody grieves differently. So before you jump in the comments or have an opinion about, you know, she shouldn't be on social media, everybody grieves differently. Some people want to, you know, kind of be an introvert. Some kind of people want to be to themselves.
And he's right. And thank you so much for that. And he's right. That's why it's hard for me to say, but it's just like I can't help what I'm picking up on energetically. I can't help that something about this entire thing seems off. And it sounds like everybody, and it feels like everybody is in on it. It just feels off. And I'm not saying the mom and the dad is in on it. I would never say that. I would never put that on them like that. But something is off. Something's not sticking. It's a lot of holes in the story. And I don't want to see another motherfucking press conference until we have real updates. Letting us know that you're about to let media into your son's funeral to have a party. That's weird to me. That's weird to me. If you feel like and you still don't even have your baby body back, but you ready to party? Okay. Y'all just spoke with the DA and you're so grateful that she finally, you know, is speaking with you now and sharing, you know what I mean, and sharing details about your son's death or doing her job correctly. I don't know, y'all. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments after the video. Make sure you hype the video up. As more stuff comes out, I'm gonna try to do my best to stay on top of it so we can recap it here. But yeah, and maybe that's it. More information is going to come out. More evidence will be revealed. But I'm just saying, I think there's something dark happening. And see, this is what's pissing me off, right? Thank you for engaging. Carlo, is that? My big ass head. Is he in her ear to stay on social media? Because that's horrible advice. Is he in her ear to have a party about her son when autopsy reports aren't back, body isn't back? You know what I mean? It's not like they're going to be viewing a body. It's not like they're going to be, you know, memorializing him in that way. They're just going to be there, I guess maybe, you know, highlighting his life. And it's not a private viewing. It's not a private memorial. It's open to the public, but we want to make sure family and friends so then just make it for family and friends. But we're going to allow the media to come in. The media to come in and do what? Exploit you? That's all the media does. And if it is, and that's the thing. And I agree. I agree with this also. She is a grief nurse. She works in the ICU adults. She's used to helping people. She's also probably really desensitized, maybe. And he should be in her ear, Rich Glam, but in what way? And is it conducive to finding justice for Nolan? Is all I'm saying. So, you guys, we'll see what comes up as the days go on. But I appreciate y'all so much for being here. That's all I have for y'all today. You know what I mean? We'll be back soon. I'll see you for Monday for a happy hour. Make sure you tune in, notifications on. Hype this video once it's all said and done. And I appreciate y'all for showing up. I see y'all. What's going on? What you mean? Wait. What you want me to wait for, Mag? Well, let me read you. Say she is intoxicated with the intention and the money and the future opportunities. Let's keep it 100. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that. Because then that just sounds like Nolan was a sacrifice. And that's a whole nother rabbit hole. That's something else. That's something else that we probably can't even talk on YouTube about. What you want to ask me, Mag? Hurry up, babe. What you need? Let me know. Let me know. Who cares about the money they deserve? I agree. I said that in my last stream. We need both. I want that check and I want justice. I want you punished to the fullest extent of the law. I want both. And according to some people, Ben Crump only goes for one thing. He gets that check and he gets the fuck up out of there. He makes promises like seeing Autopsy. This is just what's hearsay, right? He makes promises and tells people, you're going to get autopsy reports and all that, and it never happens. So we're going to see what he really, how he really handles this case. Let's see. Since you from the shot, did you like that song, Watch My Feet? Please say no. Was that your question, Mag? You kept me here for this. I love anything from Chicago. Okay. All the good things. Let me clarify that. All the good things. All right. Chicago is where everybody get everything from. Let's be honest. All right. We are the ones. We are the creators, the originators. All right. Everybody else are the imitators. And I could be biased, but when you go to other cities and you see other things and going on, everybody is following what Chicagoans are doing. The slang, the term, the style, the rap, cadence, everything. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. We're going to see what happens. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Appreciate y'all. Deuces. Let me give you a hand. Oh my God, another comment. Wait. Few things between the white boys and Katie and his back. Number one is no white boys seen Nolan at 3. They said they live at 4:30, 4:05. We know that because what? Exactly. I'm telling you right now, the white boys had everything to do with this shit. That's it. We haven't even heard from the white boys after the fact. Y'all. I gotta go. I appreciate y'all. We'll pick this up again soon. Until then, y'all know what to do. Stay black. Stay strong. Stay down. Speak up for what's right. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.